No, your days of moving slow are over. You're no born Marine Corps recruit depot, and you'll move with some kind of speed intensity in your bodies. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir!
No, I said you understand that.
Yes, sir!
You must not start up right now! Right now, you must not start up!
Aye, sir!
Aye, sir! Aye, sir! I'm not taking your question! Aye, sir! Just scratch your face! Okay, louder!
Yes, sir!
No, louder!
Yes, sir!
Get on there! Get on there! Get on contact right now!
Yes, sir!
November the 10th, 1775, some 8 months before the signing of the Declaration of Independence, the Second Continental Congress has resolved that 2 battalions of Marines be formed to serve with the fledgling Continental Navy. 18 days later, Samuel Nicholas, an innkeeper from Pennsylvania, becomes the first commissioned officer when he's sworn in as a captain of Marines. He began recruiting immediately from a well-known hangout on the Philadelphia waterfront called Tun Tavern. By mid-February 1776, some 300 Marines were serving aboard 8 Navy ships, and in March of that year, American Marines would make their first landing on a foreign shore at New Providence in the Bahamas. The warfighting legacy of the Corps began with these first few good men, and over the next 200 years, that legacy would be enhanced by the thousands of Americans who stepped forward to serve their country. This devotion and spirit of sacrifice was especially evident in 1917, when young men answered the call to arms as the nation reluctantly entered World War I. The Marine recruiting slogan at the time was the stirring "First to Fight." Volunteers from across the country flocked to Marine Corps recruiting stations, and those accepted for enlistment were initially sent to training bases at Mare Island, California, and Parris Island, South Carolina. Soon after being taught the basics of hand-to-hand combat, discipline, and marksmanship, these young patriots found themselves on the battlefields of France. Facing great odds at every turn, the Marines routinely displayed extraordinary courage and bravery. The aggressive fighting spirit of these unflappable leathernecks so impressed their German enemy at Belleau Wood that they were nicknamed Teufelhunde, devil dogs. After more than a year of intense fighting on the European front, the casualties were mounting. More men were needed. But where were they to come from? That's when Marine Corps leaders instructed recruiters to seek out women with competent business and clerical skills so that more men could be freed up to fill critical combat positions overseas. Marine recruiters were quickly faced with more than 2,000 eager females ready to do their part for the war effort. Only 305 of them would ultimately be accepted for enlistment, and by 1922, all women serving with the Marines were discharged. It would be 2 decades before they would again be invited to serve in the Corps. The years following the Great War found the Marines in numerous conflicts and skirmishes in many isolated parts of the world. Recruiting of men to fill the vacant ranks of the Corps continued, but in post-war America, travel and adventure were the lures for enlistment. December 7, 1941. The country is once again drawn into the chaos of war, with Japan's surprise bombing of Pearl Harbor. Caught off guard and unprepared, the Fleet Marine forces of the Marine Corps were already spread dangerously thin due to worldwide deployments. The Corps was simply not ready to send massive numbers of troops into battle. They needed men, and fast, and virtually every able-bodied man who was old enough to join eagerly rushed to recruiters, anxious to get into the fight. By February 1943, with an immediate need for manpower in the Pacific, the Corps once again looked to America's women to come to the aid of the country. Responding to the recruiting slogan, "Free a Marine to Fight," women from all walks of life came forward to take the place of men who were serving in non-combat jobs. Over the next 3 years, more than 20,000 women would serve in the Corps, freeing up enough men to form the 6th Marine Division. Following the surrender of Japan and the end of World War II, the Marines continued to find themselves on foreign soil, taking care of America's interests. Just as it had been in the preceding 2 centuries, the cry of "send in the Marines" would be heard whenever a crisis abroad demanded a quick and immediate response. From the Corps' earliest soldiers of the sea to the rapidly mobile expeditionary forces of today, it has always been the Marines who provided the nation with a balanced force and readiness, prepared to fight anytime, anywhere. But who are these people called Marines? Where do they come from? What is it about the Marine Corps that makes it so different from the other services? Only those who have earned the title understand the unique, almost spiritual commitment and loyalty Marines have for their Corps. It's truly a band of brothers, made up of men and women who feel an unabashed pride in their country, their Corps, and themselves. The Marine Corps motto says it best: Semper Fidelis, always faithful. These 2 words are, in fact, a way of life for Marines. So it's no wonder that the Corps is, and always has been, highly selective when choosing those who join its ranks. Marine recruiting posters have never made promises or guarantees. Rather, it's, "We don't promise you a rose garden." Or, if everybody could get in the Marines, it wouldn't be the Marines. And today, the Marine Corps' selective recruiting of America's finest sons and daughters continues.